I'm going to bring in Agricultural Secretary Brooke Rollins. And Secretary, lots of polls showing farmers are getting a little angry, a little antsy here. It's pretty clear they support the administration. They understand what's going on, but they're sort of caught in the middle. China specifically trying to hurt them in this tariff war. So what should they expect from the White House?
Well, thanks so much for having me on, Charles, and I loved your introduction. I think it told the story perfectly. For so long, this country has been basically built on the backs of our farmers and our ranchers. President Trump has been the most pro-farmer president, perhaps in our lifetimes, perhaps in history. But this moment of uncertainty in the farm economy is real. And there are many reasons for that. Obviously, the ongoing trade negotiations with China and others, but it goes way before that. Under Joe Biden, the cost of inputs went up 30%. No new trade deals, which you showed in that chart, which was actually a great chart. It's pretty remarkable that in 4 years under Joe Biden, there was not one new trade deal. And we went from an ag trade surplus under Trump 1 to a $50 billion ag deficit under Joe Biden. And we're now just beginning to crawl our way back out of that. But the times are changing. Listen, it is a golden age. It's around the corner. But this president on Liberation Day at the White House, when we were all watching, when he announced this new tariff and trade world realignment, that it was going to take a little bit of time. But in that time, we've already struck 7 or 8 deals. Japan, the UK, the EU, Indonesia, the Philippines. I mean, I was in the UK 2 weeks ago selling ethanol, supposed to be in Japan tomorrow talking rice and other row crops. We'll see with the government shutdown if that happens. But it is going to be gangbusters. But right now, the farm economy is not in a good place. We're working around the clock. The president has committed to supporting our farmers, and we'll have an announcement on that very soon, likely next week. Okay,
because we know that we're taking in $350 billion in tariff revenue, and the whispers are that a piece of that will be allocated to farmers to help them get through this rough patch, because they get us through the rough patches every single day, to your point. Also, let's talk about the Federal Reserve, right? Because the money is expensive. It's not just small businesses that have suffered at this because of the power of Federal Reserve, but also farmers.
Oh, Charles, I'm so glad you asked that question. Most people don't ever ask about this. So the cost of inputs under Joe Biden, fuel 19%, fertilizer 36%, labor I think is 46%. All of this is devastating to the American farmer, but interest rates, to your point, 73% went up under Joe Biden for our farmers and our ranchers as they're buying their equipment, as they're buying their land, as they're working. I mean, farming lives on loans. You have to take out a loan for the next harvest, for the next planting, to buy the next piece of equipment. That's how it's always been. So the interest rates of everything has been absolutely disastrous for our farmers. So the president's focus on that, the Fed's, half a point a week or so ago, I guess that's a little bit helpful, but we have a long way to go to get back where we need to be for our farmers and ranchers.
Absolutely. And I want to also ask you about the administration repurposing the Biden DEI program and those funds to put it to more practical use, something based on more meritocracy.
Well, at least in USDA, I know this is true across the agency, but within the first week, Charles, we found over 900 DEI training programs just at the U.S. Department of Agriculture. We've canceled $200 billion in grants. $200 million in grants at this point, up into the billions of dollars for transgender, woke, BIPOC food justice in San Francisco, studying the menstrual cycles of mice for transgenderism out of some of our, it is crazy town. Now, I think we've gotten through most of those, but even today, 7 or 8 months in, we're still finding them, and we're going to keep looking under the hood till they're all gone.
Secretary Rollins, I'm running out of time, but I do want to get back to the central point here. Can we get it back? I mean, the chart tells a story, to your point. We had it. We lost it quickly. Can we become the breadbasket to the world again?
Absolutely, we can. And here's that breadbasket to the world, number one. But number two, as the president has spoken about reshoring manufacturing, to your chart, we've got to reshore our food production. We can't rely on China and Russia and South America for our fruit, for our meat, et cetera. We need to be feeding ourselves. If we aren't able to do that, there will no longer be an America. The national security piece of farm security is real. It's right in front of us, and we're working on fixing it every single day.
Secretary Rollins, I really appreciate you and the work that you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you, Charles. Great to be on.